Welcome back to Onondaga Fieldhouse in upstate New York, where we are back with yet another game, this one between the Caughnawaga Indians and the CatTail Kings. The CatTail Kings wearing the red uniforms, Caughnawaga in the black. The CatTail Kings wearing the uniforms of the Tonawanda Braves, and they are basically a team from the Tonawanda area. They have played in this building twice today. They played the first game in the morning against Poland's development team. And there's a goal in front as Shadow Jonathan captures the rebound and cans it past Cal Swiss Hill, the goalie for the Indians. So the Indians shorthanded. So 9 players, 10 players on the bench or on the team total for the Indians. As I said, they are shorthanded. I was being given another name to add to their bench. And shorthanded does not mean unskilled. That shot goes wide from Ice Pembleton. Pembleton will get the ball back as it hit the goalie and then went out of bounds. Shot stopped there by Simon Jonathan. In the corner, Pembleton can't handle it. Ball comes out. Donnie Nephew had the ball. But referee Paul Quill makes a call. And Dusty Parker winds up in the box for the CatTail Kings. Again, CatTail in the red. The jerseys, if you can see them at home, say Tonawanda Braves on them, because most of the players are from Tonawanda. Nice play there to eat that ball up. Dan Jimerson. Jimerson trying to split the double team. Great trail check. Brad McRauch takes that away, presses the ball forward. They cannot handle it, however. And here comes a breakaway the other way. Mishandled there. And the Indians' John Pierce comes away with it. So this kind of pace favors CatTail Kings because they have a much deeper bench. Nice check there by Pemberton getting the ball away. But it does go over to the Braves. Got to worry a little bit about the time clock here. Randy Ground doesn't advance it. Randy Ground takes his time. Needs to put that ball down and then pay attention as Pierce comes away with the ball, shoots it wide. So a little carelessness there on the part of the CatTail Kings. And that's kind of been par for the course for what we've seen out of them today. Moments of real brilliance and then moments of sort of confounding play where you're wondering why there doesn't seem to be maybe a little more effort or smart play at a certain moment. That shot by Kells Sundown stopped by Swiss Hill. So Jacob Wynn with the ball, gets checked from behind. Nice play there. It was Keenan Ninham. But ultimately the ball won back by Gabe Edwards. And he takes a shot. They feed that ahead, can't connect. And this is where, if you're CatTail Kings, this is where you don't want to take some of those chances, although that one they cash in, as it's Dan Jimerson taking that feed. Sliding it by Cal Swiss Hill. But the issue there, what I was saying, the reason you didn't want to necessarily take that chance is that if you are the CatTail Kings, you know that the numbers favor you. So why are you making the long pass, which only because there was a penalty to get the ball back, which then gave them the numbers that allowed them to score the goal. Had they not had the penalty committed by Caughnawaga, it would have been Indians ball coming out with a very short possession and where a bunch of guys didn't have to run down to play D. You want to make these guys play D every possession because you have the numbers advantage. You also have a 2-0 lead on the scoreboard now with under 10 minutes remaining in the first. That shot wide. Loose ball picked up by Pembleton. Pembleton is 2-on-1 and he scores. Pembleton, the left-hander, forces the play, keeps things working. Ike Pembleton puts the Indians on the board. They trail 2-1. So part of what you see when you have a team that is this short-handed. Pembleton, who's been playing forward, now comes back and plays D. And now he's back at forward, but basically taking a longer shift and playing both ends if necessary. That pass gets away, but running it down, Krill McCroke. Shot wide. Time violation. Little confusion because CatTail Kings had never actually picked up the ball, never got a clean pickup, and the ball was put into play. And they lost it. Nice over-the-shoulder shot by Jimerson, but up to the test, Cal Swiss Hill. And again, Swiss Hill two-on-one for the Indians. Stopped there. Nice save by Simon Jonathan to stop Gabe Edwards. Edwards trying to go 5-hole. Jonathan stood his ground. That shot kicked away. It's at the feet. Shadow Jonathan, who scored the first one. Couldn't get that one past Cal Swiss Hill. So penalty cup upcoming. And rather than waiting to get the extra man advantage as their goalie went to the bench, they took that shot early. So, slash call coming here against Shadow Jonathan. So, Caughnawaga with a chance to even things up. 6 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. Remember that penalties are 1 minute each unless they are majors, because the time is short. The games are 15-minute halves at this point. Later in the tournament, in the championship rounds, they will be longer games. Nice attempt to get the trailer, although again, you would have liked to have seen perhaps killing more clock. Pembleton can't hold on to that. So it's basically a wasted man up as there's 22 seconds remaining. And you have to assume that CatTail Kings will slow things down, kill off the penalty. Randy Ground has the ball now. So things are even up. 4 on the shot clock. And there was a little bit of other action. Randy Ground comes to the box for the CatTail Kings. For the Indians, it's John Pierce. They both will take a seat. And we will play 5-on-5. Indians slow to get their 5th player out. Nice save by Swiss Hill on that shot from the outside. Shot taken by Steve Poudry. Poudry with the ball again, shovels it inside. Nice save there. Donnie Nephew got stopped. Fed ahead, Pembleton, 1-on-1, rolls back, tries to dump it in, can't. And we have another call coming. So they call I don't have a 25 on my roster. It says 23, and I do see 23 on the bench. So not sure who is in, but it is a man advantage. So both teams actually had too many men there. Both teams actually had too many men. So what happened was the first penalty, the simultaneous penalties released. Both teams sent guys out. So, meanwhile, the penalty against the CatTail Kings, the penalty time is running. So while the refs sort it out, now they've stopped it. But basically, they went from a full minute. They took 48 seconds of penalty time that the CatTail Kings would have had to play, and they lost it, and they don't seem to be resetting that. They stopped the clock. Otherwise, that would have been the ideal penalty kill, because they both teams committed the same infraction. Players left the box. So a little bit of man up left. Pembleton. And there's the outside shot that goes in. So Pembleton with the feed gets that ball off to Brad McCroke. And McCroke makes it a tie game, 2-2. So we're now full strength, both teams, 2-2. 2 minutes remaining, roughly a little bit more than 2 minutes remaining in the first half. These teams are taking traditional face-offs. Push from behind by Shadow Jonathan, doesn't get called. Nice hustle and persistence by Gabe Edwards. That shot from the outside by Vern Cook. Misses the mark. Coda Luke unable to come up with it, and it comes out to the CatTail Kings. Nice defense there, however, by Gabe Edwards. Edwards showing nice persistence and perseverance here. Gets a fresh 30-second shot clock with under a minute and a half remaining. Pembleton can't handle the pass. And here's a little break opportunity for the CatTail Kings. Looking 3-on-2, hits the trailer and scores. Lee Abrams finishes the play, taking that feed from Hudson Weil, making it 3-2 with a minute remaining. So 3-2 in favor of CatTail Kings. But straw still loose now. Comes away to the Kings. Now, goalie comes away with it. And yes, both goalies are wearing red. Creel McRoke now gets the ball back. He had lost it initially. Pembleton misses that one. Gets his own rebound, 15 on the shot clock. But the shot clock was irrelevant because there was less than 15 on the game clock. And that brings us to halftime. It's been an entertaining game. And it's been a game of end-to-end action. We'll see if the Caughnawaga Indians, shorthanded as they are with just 10 players total on their roster today, can continue to fight this one out against the CatTail Kings. Your score at halftime, CatTail Kings 3, Caughnawaga Indians 2. You're watching the Lacrosse All-Stars North American Invitational. Courage game? Welcome back to the action at the Onondaga Fieldhouse. CatTail Kings 3, Caughnawaga Indians 2. The Caughnawaga gets the first shot of the second half, but it's stopped by Simon Jonathan. And at the other end, unable to convert, Dan Jimerson. He got one of the goals in the first half. So the Indians, it'll be interesting to see. They start this half without Pembleton, number 17. It's been their best, their most, not the best or the most. He's been their most consistent or their biggest offensive threat. But he is hobbled, and how much he will play in the second half is a question. He's near the coach by the bench, but he's standing by the D door. You'd expect him to be an offensive player, especially if he's somewhat limited. Can scarcely afford to lose anyone else. They're already playing with only 10 players in this game. They get the ball ahead, looking for the play out the door, get it through. McCroke with the ball. Fed across. There's a shot if they want to take it, and McCroke decides instead to try to take the dive. Lucky he's not called for interference as his dive and the momentum carried him directly into the goalie. And that's where you can get into trouble. Turf Monster got Randy ground, who was then on the ground but was able to maintain control, but eventually they lose it. Ball goes to the goalie. And Cal Swiss Hill gets the ball off to McCroke. Stopped there. Again, both goalies wearing red. The CatTail Kings wearing the red of the Tonawanda Braves. But as you see now, Cal Swiss Hill for Caughnawaga, the team in black jerseys, also wearing red today. A nice play in the middle there. That's Randy ground, gaining ground, but can't score. And went through the crease, so he wouldn't be eligible to go play the ball. It just would be another whistle. The guy coming back to play him was Pembleton. Pembleton moving very slowly, just kind of staying at the defensive zone. That rip missed as it was by Kirill McCroke. Behind the back, nifty feed, gets the ball over to Jimerson. Hands free, stopped by Swiss Hill. So 3-on-2 here. They peel off instead to get a man to the bench. Off the post for John Pierce. 11:30 remaining in regulation. 3-2 your score. Fed back. 3-on-2 the other way. And Salon Spruce nets his first goal of the day. He's been a big influence on this team. He's a very good defender, and I was a little harsh on him earlier in the day because he'd spent a little bit of time in the box. Perhaps more than was necessary. But he comes up and finishes that one. And his teammates excited for him and excited to have a 4-2 lead. One ahead by McCroke. Misses the net, and the ball hits the rafters. When the ball goes out of play and hits an obstruction, it goes to the team that did not touch it last. So the shot was taken by Caughnawaga. That means the ball's with CatTail Kings. Loose ball kicking around in front, ultimately scooped up by Coda Luke. Luke dishes that off. Shot is wide, but they can't come away with the loose ball. 3-on-1, fed back. And cashed in. Steve Poudry. And this is where the numbers, again, why you run when you can run, why you don't run some of the rest of the time, right? Tire them out, make them play defense, then have the plays where you're able to make the right things happen like they did there. So McCroke comes away with it. Pembleton can't handle it, but gets the ball back on the bounce out of the corner. But the ball bounces away. CatTail Kings have it. Nice save there by Cal Swiss Hill. And a push Actually, they're saying that Shadow Jonathan ran through the crease and then got involved in the play. 8.5 minutes remaining as the Indians advance the ball. Shadow Jonathan has to leave the floor. He lost his stick. His stick split in half, or the head came off. So he's going to wind up taking a penalty here because he didn't leave. Or he's going to take it because they call a slash on him for the check that came off. Let's see what happens here. So he gets called for the slash. I guess the proof of a big swing is that the head of the stick came flying off. Caughnawaga needs to make something happen as they go back on the attack. And that's not going to do it as Poudre gets involved in the play, but they get the ball back, get it in front. Stopped there. Jacob Wynn couldn't get it by. Now he takes another shot. Stopped by Simon Jonathan. So another slash. So it's a two-man advantage for Caughnawaga. One of the interesting things to see is when you have a team that goes two men up, they should never have the man at the point come and really get involved. It should just be a safety valve. Let them play a box. But they're playing some other formation. First penalty is released, but they cash in. So now the result should be that both penalties are released. And I believe that was Pembleton with the goal. They're saying the penalty stays in. It's now 5-3. But again, the penalty time is running as we are doing this. So, fed in front, shot wide by Kells Sundown. So, there was an additional, so there were two separate penalties. The first was released, the second now in play. But a simple missed pass here. And that one, Salon Spruce unable to convert. And now numbers, well, it's 2-on-2, but they've killed off the penalty. And again, they have the ability to press the attack because they have numbers. John Pierce would be going 1-on-3, so he slows things down and then gets stripped. Nice check by Keenan Ninham. They get the ball ahead. Dusty Parker gets it back on the break, goes around the world, but isn't anywhere near the earth. At least the part of the earth he was trying to score to. Stopped there. Jared Wynn with the ball, shoots that wide. So 3-on-2. And that ball shot by Randy Ground somehow gets a piece of Swiss Hill and still winds up in the cage. It's now 6-3 with 3 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in regulation. A goal the Indians could not afford to give up. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering at home, they are the Caughnawaga Indians, and their jerseys, those black jerseys they're wearing, says Injuns on the front. It's the CatTail Kings, dressed as the Tonawanda Braves, who come away with the faceoff. That shot disrupted. Dan Jimerson had a nice look at the net, but couldn't get it off. Gets the ball back, feeds it in front. And the nifty little shovel there from Lee Abrams. And CatTail Kings looking like they could come away with their first win of the day after 2 hard defeats. Inside of 2:30 now. And they say that McCroke held the ball too long in the back of his stick. That procedure call gives the ball back to CatTail Kings. Nice takeaway check there by McCroke. Three-on-one now for the Indians. Nice save there by Simon Jonathan. The ball rolls all the way to the other end harmlessly. That long pass makes it, so you got a 2-on-1 now, a 1-on-none. But John Pierce snake bit here. Can't put it on the frame. So 1 minute remaining in regulation. Caughnawaga trails by 4. And ball now kicked ahead to Randy Ground. He's got Sloan Spruce on the far side. Takes the shot instead himself. Jacob Wynn brings the ball forward, now passes that along ahead. Pembleton stopped. Fed up high to Ground. 12 seconds left. Ground got it ahead. Playing a little two-man game. Stopped there. And that will bring us to the end of regulation. So, the CatTail Kings, team based in Tonawanda, after 2 tough losses in this building this